Have you ever wondered if the AI revolution is a bubble so big it could take down the entire US economy? If so, turns out you're not alone. Because a few days ago on November 10th, Michael Burry, the guy who bet against the housing market in 2008 when everyone else called him insane, he just did something even more crazy. He deregistered his investment fund. Now, for those of you like me who don't speak Wall Street, he's going dark. He doesn't want anyone else seeing his positions anymore. In 2008, Burry saw the crash coming. He bet against the housing market when everyone else called him crazy, and it saved his investors while making him a legend. And if you think the AI boom is any different, here's a thought that you might consider. If AI companies collapse, would the government let them fail? Or are they too embedded in critical business operations nationwide amidst a global AI arms race? If the AI bubble pops and Congress approves a bailout worth hundreds of billions of dollars, then you, the American taxpayer who stayed smart, who didn't gamble on hype, would fit the bill per history, like in 2008. Except this time, the warning signs seem to be everywhere. The question is, are we watching another 2008 scenario play out in real time, but with a different cast of characters? Here's the situation. A few days ago, November 13th, 2025, tech industry publication The Information posted on their X account something that should make your blood cold. OpenAI plans to spend over $40 billion on backup servers in 2028 alone. Not total infrastructure, backup servers. That's more than the entire GDP of some nations, spent on redundancy for a single company. Meanwhile, global data center spending has now surpassed oil and gas exploration for the first time in human history. We're building more digital infrastructure than energy infrastructure. Michael Burry, he's been warning about speculative bubbles for years. Back in early 2024, he was already comparing today's AI mania to the dot-com crash and the 2008 housing meltdown. He called out meme stock euphoria, criticized the Fed's policy response, and warned again that when optimism disconnects from reality, the fallout is brutal. And then it happened. On November 10th, 2025, Scion Asset Management, Burry's fund, officially terminated its SEC registration. Reuters reported the move 3 days later. By deregistering, Burry put Scion in a posture where he could potentially legally reposition or shrink exposure outside the public spotlight. That's not a move you make when you think the market is healthy. That's a move you make when you're getting into formation. Now consider the spending. OpenAI may spend up to $40 billion on servers in 2028. That number isn't a flex, it's a pressure point. You don't burn $40 billion on compute unless you're either preparing for unprecedented scale, or you're trapped in an arms race you can't afford to lose. And it's not just OpenAI. Google, Amazon, every tech titan is pouring staggering amounts into AI infrastructure. Microsoft in fiscal year 2025 expects to invest about $80 billion in AI-enabled data centers, more than half of which would be in the United States. Meanwhile, the world crossed a strange line last year when global data center spending hit roughly $250 billion, surpassing the $227 billion spent on oil exploration. We're now spending more on servers than on the substance that powers civilization. And Wall Street is taking notice. Back in June of 2024, Goldman Sachs released a report titled Gen AI, Too Much Spend, Too Little Benefit? That's not a TikTok hot take. That's Goldman Sachs wondering out loud whether this unrestrained AI spending spree is justified or whether a reckoning is coming. Translation: the smartest money in the room seems to be a little concerned. This is what experts call a speculative bubble. It's when asset prices, stocks, infrastructure, entire industries like housing in 2008, or perhaps AI even now, inflate far beyond their actual value because everyone believes the hype will last forever until it doesn't. And when the bubble pops, the damage isn't confined to investors, it spreads fast. Picture this. You're seeing all the headlines and updates about AI as you have been. Up until this point, you've been a watchful optimist. You've used ChatGPT or similar AIs, perhaps at work, perhaps for hobbies. But you didn't quit your job to become a prompt engineer. You stayed curious. You kept your head down while investing conservatively in your 401k and your IRA. You tried to do everything right. Then in 2026, the cracks start showing. A large AI company misses a quarterly revenue target. Investors panic. Stock prices for AI-adjacent companies, chip makers, cloud providers begin to crater. Your city, which bet big on becoming a Silicon Valley of the Midwest by subsidizing data centers, is now hemorrhaging tax revenue. Public services get cut, schools lose funding, infrastructure projects freeze. Your retirement account, tied to tech-heavy index funds, drops 30% in 6 months. You didn't even know you were exposed. By early 2027, the same major AI company is deemed too big to fail. Not because of their products, but because they've become too embedded in critical US infrastructure. And here's the kicker. The US government can't let them collapse, because then China would be in a prime position to win the global AI arms race. If America's AI sector implodes, our geopolitical rivals pull ahead permanently. So, Congress approves a bailout. Hundreds of billions, maybe $1 trillion. And guess who pays for it? You do. The same taxpayer who stayed responsible, who didn't speculate, who played it safe. You're footing the bill for a bubble you never participated in. Because the people who gambled and lost, they're getting rescued. And you're still trying to rebuild your retirement. Now, I know this seems bleak, like history's about to repeat itself yet again, and there's nothing you can do. But the truth is, the future isn't set in stone. We can take very real action today, not just to protect ourselves if this bubble bursts, but to help prevent it from bursting in the first place. So, on the off chance that one of the biggest industries in human history implodes overnight, leaving average Americans holding the bag just like 2008, here's what we can do. Plan Alpha, accessible. Diversify your investments now. If your 401k or IRA is heavily weighted in tech, rebalance. Talk to a financial advisor about exposure to AI-related stocks. Stay informed. Follow credible financial analysts who aren't selling hype. Watch for warning signs, massive capex announcements, revenue misses, sudden executive departures, and the like. Contact your representatives. Tell them you oppose taxpayer-funded bailouts for speculative bubbles, and make it clear. If companies make reckless bets, they bear the consequences, not citizens. The goal here is to protect yourself from financial risk and make your voice heard before the crash comes. Plan Bravo, advanced. Build financial resilience. Create an emergency fund that covers at least 6 months of expenses. Consider assets less correlated to tech, like treasury bonds or commodities. Engage locally. Attend city council meetings. Ask the hard questions about public investments in data centers or AI infrastructure. Demand transparency about risk. Join or support organizations advocating for financial accountability and corporate responsibility. The goal here is to insulate your household from the fallout while actively pushing back against reckless spending in your community, making sure taxpayer dollars aren't gambled on hype without accountability. Plan Charlie, all in. Heed the call and shift your career into systemic risk management. Become a policy analyst focused on financial regulation and AI governance. Work for think tanks, congressional offices, or regulatory agencies like the SEC or the CFTC. Study economic history. Understand the dynamics of bubbles, not just to predict them, but to design safeguards that prevent bailouts from becoming the default response. Advocate for structural reform as well. Push for policies that break up monopolistic AI firms, limit government subsidies for speculative ventures, and ensure taxpayers aren't left holding the bag. Make preventing the next bailout your mission. The goal here is to dedicate your life's work to preventing another 2008. To become the person in the room who stops the bailout before it happens, who builds the system that keeps speculation in check, who ensures that when companies gamble with our future, they don't get to pass that bill along to us. No matter which path you take, Alpha, Bravo, or Charlie. You can rest assured each night knowing that you're doing your part to help build a future where AI serves humanity and not the other way around. Look, I'm not saying AI is worthless. I'm saying that hype without true value tends to end the same way. And when it does, the people who pay the price are rarely the ones who created the problem. Michael Burry saw 2008 coming because he looked at the data, not the narrative. You don't need to be a financial genius to explore this. You just need to be willing to look. So stand up, speak up, learn, and if necessary, protect what's yours. This has been Mission Control, your hub in the AI takeover. I'm Elroy Waters. Our mission here is simple. Arm you with the truth so you can build a future where AI serves humanity, not the other way around. If this briefing hit home, then join us. It's easy and free to subscribe to this channel, like this video, leave a comment, and while you're at it, tell me, are we in a bubble? Is Burry right? What's your read on the signals? We want to hear from you. And if someone you know needs to see this, a friend, a coworker, someone stuck in either AI doom or hype, share it with them. Start the conversation, compare notes, get sharp on the signals. Because if the crash comes, the people who saw it coming won't just survive. They'll be positioned to win.